The night was as silent as a tomb. I was nestled in my room, lost in the pages of a book, the soft light of my bedside lamp casting long shadows around me. It was the kind of silence that's comfortable, the silence of a quiet countryside on a winter's night. The wind was my only company, whispering tales through the gaps in the window panes. Then, suddenly, like a shard of glass piercing a pane of glass, a scream tore through the night. I jumped, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. The scream was raw, filled with an agony that seemed to claw at my own insides. It was a sound that shouldn't exist, a violation of the natural order, and it came from just outside my house. Instinctively, I got up, my hands shaking as I reached for the door handle. I had to go out, had to see what had made that noise, even though every fiber of my being was screaming at me to stay inside, to hide. But curiosity, that insatiable beast, had already gotten the better of me. As I flung the door open, the scream came again, closer this time, echoing in the vast expanse of the night. But there was no one there. I stepped out into the darkness, my eyes struggling to pierce the thick blanket of night. The wind seemed to have died down, and an unnatural stillness had fallen over the house and the surrounding woods. My gaze swept over the familiar landscape, searching for any sign of movement, any indication of where the scream had come from. All I could see were the dark, gnarled branches of the ancient oak tree at the edge of our property, their silhouettes resembling clawing hands against the backdrop of the starless sky. As I stood there, the scream came again, this time right outside my window. I whirled around, my blood turning to ice water in my veins. But when I looked back at the window, all I saw was the distorted reflection of my own terrified face staring back at me. I stumbled back, my hand instinctively reaching out to steady myself, but there was nothing there to grab onto. I closed my eyes, trying to make sense of what I had just seen, or maybe more accurately, what I had heard. Had I really seen a shadow move just outside my window? Or was my mind playing tricks on me, my fear getting the better of my senses? But then I heard it again, that unearthly scream, closer now, as if whatever was making it was circling closer to my house. Panic started to rise within me, constricting my throat, making it hard to breathe. I wanted to run, to get away from the house, to hide somewhere, anywhere, but my feet felt rooted to the spot. The darkness outside the window seemed to writhe and twist, taking on a life of its own, and then I saw it, or thought I did. A dark, shapeless mass seemed to be forming just outside, and it was growing larger, more defined. Whatever it was blocking out the faint light that was filtering in from the street lamp down the road. And then it moved, slithering inwards like smoke curling from a dying ember. Terror, cold and paralyzing, gripped me. I wanted to scream, to call out for help, but my voice was trapped somewhere deep inside me, unable to escape. The dark shape outside the window kept coming closer, inching its way towards me, and I could feel its presence in the room with me, cold and oppressive like a shroud. My breath caught in my throat as the dark mass slowly dissipated, revealing nothing but the familiar outline of my window and the twisted branches of the oak tree. I let out a shaky breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. My heart was still pounding a frantic tattoo against my ribs, and my entire body trembled with the aftershocks of fear. But as the seconds ticked by and the house remained silent, I began to calm down. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination. There was nothing out there in the darkness but the trees and the wind. As dawn eventually broke, chasing away the lingering darkness, I went back to my room. I never did find out what had made those screams in the night. But sometimes, terror is not about what we see, but what we hear and feel, lingering in the dark.